Hello, good evening everyone. Welcome to the News Today edition of 12th of August, wherein we try and make all important news for the day in the most simplest format for you guys to understand. So let's look at what are the important newses for today. Firstly, Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Amendment Bill 2025 has been introduced in Lok Sabha. National Sports Governance Bill and National Anti-Doping Amendment Bill has been passed in Lok Sabha. Supreme Court has issued directions to control millions of stray dogs in National Capital Region. Lok Sabha has passed the Taxation Laws Amendment Bill 2025 and the Income Tax Number 2 Bill 2025. RBI has simplified the process for opening special Vostro Rupee accounts, and Parliamentary Committee on Finance have released a report on evolving role of Competition Commission of India in the economy. We are also going to see place in news, that is Australia, along with quick updates for the day. So the first news, Mines and Minerals Development Regulation Amendment Bill 2025 has been introduced in Lok Sabha, right? So all important bills, their provisions, because as it is a part of your important GS paper number 3 economy under the subtopic of energy security, right? So mines, metals, minerals, all of that comes under the syllabus of GS paper number 3, right? That makes this topic important. So let's look at what was the need for this particular bill, right? So if you understand, these minerals are very good resources with respect to a lot of things in the country in terms of manufacturing, in terms of defense, right? So that is why we need to preserve this bill, right? And we need to have a specific law how we are going to regulate and see the minerals and metals in the upcoming future, right? So that was the need for this particular bill. So if we could talk about India's import dependence on these minerals has been very much used. That has been need for a call of maybe having a particular area or a body which is going to explore minerals not just in India but again outside India as well, right? That is why it is. And again we have seen that again with growing global tensions, maybe war across some regions, there have been some global supply chain disruption, right? And then we have also discussed in the previous news trade edition about National Critical Minerals Mission, right? Where again I would ask you, tell me what are critical minerals. I have discussed this many times, and again now it's your time to tell me in comments what are the critical minerals in India, right? So these are the few requirements which had made requirement for this particular bill or the amendment bill which has been proposed in the Lok Sabha, right? So in terms of its role in economy, they are used in electric vehicle batteries, some kind of critical minerals. They are used in renewable energy. They are used in electronics, defense and infrastructure, right? So very quickly, what has been few changes which this amendment to the bill has brought. Number one, initially we had a National Mineral Exploration Trust. It has been renamed as National Mineral Exploration and Developmental Trust, and its mandate has been increased. So this trust was only exploring minerals within the domestic geographical boundary of the country. Now this new trust has been given powers that it can explore minerals in the offshore areas. What are offshore areas? So areas which are in the sea region, right, in the ocean. So ocean mineral exploration has been given a mandate to this particular body. Then also there are also international exploration of critical minerals. So this trust has got powers or mandate to not just explore in minerals within the domestic political boundary of the country, but again also in the offshore regions as well as at an international level, right? So ab iska mandate itna बढ़ गया है. How will it get money? So technically if you see in the domestic Indian region, we have a lot of mines. So these mines are leased to private companies, to some industries, right? And they explore minerals. So what they are supposed to pay, that again if you're exploring some minerals and you have taken up that in a lease process, you are going to share with government a certain amount of profit that we call as royalty. So royalty is the amount which is paid by the owners who have taken these mines in lease through lease process to the government. So initially the lease amount was 2%, but as the mandate has been increased, so the trust requires extra amount of money for more exploration. So the royalty which these companies or industries were paying with respect to the ownership of their mines, it has been increased from 2% to 3%. As simple as that, right? Then in terms of mineral exchanges, अगर आप देखते होगे stock exchange में क्या होता है? In that, trading is happening in a similar manner. In these mineral exchanges, all important minerals prices will be listed. So that again, the process of trading which is happening around this minerals and mines is going to be transparent. कभी कभी देखा गया ना, the process of maybe buying certain minerals at a price which is not fair, sometimes not transparent, not on the basis of the market price. So this exchange is going to create an electronic trading platform where again people can buy and sell at a through a transparent price mechanism process, right? Then in terms of critical mineral incentives, अब मान लीजिए आपके पास एक mine है पहले से, if you have a mine with yourself, now if you're exploring some minerals, let's say आपने एक manganese का mine लिया हुआ है, right? And you're exploring manganese out of that particular mine. Suddenly you find that there is lithium, which is a critical mineral. So what would happen in that case? So in that case, it has been told that again, even if in the current mine, if you are, let's say, getting any new critical mineral during the exploration process, right? So you need not to pay extra royalty for the minerals which are listed under this particular schedule. Okay, as simple as that. Then we have lease area expansion, right? Because what we have seen that again, many mines in India have been explored to the fullest, right? And there is no further scope of getting anything from there. So what we have done, this particular bill has proposed, let's say for deep seated minerals, right? You explore more by 10%, right? And for composite licenses, you are going to explore more 30% of what you currently do. So that again, we can explore, because what we have देखे हैं कि many times certain critical minerals, certain important minerals are deep into the earth, right? So that is why maybe the bandwidth or coverage with respect to exploration of these minerals has been increased. Then we have captive mining reforms. मान लीजिए if you have an iron factory, iron ore steel factory, right? So what is the raw material you require? You require iron ore, right? So what this proposition has done, many a times these mines are owned by certain industries which require these iron minerals as their raw materials. उन पे एक foundation था कि if they are exploring minerals out of such mines, they are not going to sell such minerals beyond 50%. A factory can requirement at 30%, right? And it is exploring, let's say 100%. But again, it was bounded that it cannot sell beyond 50% of what exactly the company is taking out from that particular mine. So this amendment has also made that process easier. That again, the band or the cutoff limit of 50% has now been increased. So even if you are a company, you are owning a particular mine, so you are no longer bounded that again you can sell only 50% of what you explore. You can sell more than that as well. ठीक है, वही लिखा है कि removal of 50% sale cap from captive mines, and इसी को बोलता है captive mines, where again some industry who is using raw material from that particular mine, that mines are called as captive mines, right? And then अब मान लीजिए ये तो अभी नियम आया ना कि you can sell more than 50%. What let's say if you have huge amount of minerals which you have let's say explored, but again you have not sold it. So ये भी option दिया गया है कि again whatever extra you have an option to sell, where again the states may allow sale of old mineral dumps. So this are the few things which have been amended in the particular by this particular act over the idea of mineral exploration in India. Very important topic for examination of GS paper number 3. So let's see any question which has been asked. अब देखिए ऐसे क्वेश्चंस आएंगे आपके प्रीलिम्स एग्जामिनेशन में, राइट? सो अगेन दो इट वाज अ क्वेश्चन बैक ऑफ 2014, बट अगेन आई हैव पिक्ड अप दिस क्वेश्चन बिकॉज हमने डिस्कस किया अभी क्रिटिकल मिनरल्स. Now there are certain kind of minerals which are called as rare earth minerals. Rare means what? They are found very rarely, they have less deposits, they are only found in few specific areas, right? So with respect to that, there was a question. I would expect an answer in the comment section for this particular question, right? Then let's say the amendment has been brought, and again the amendment has made few changes. So where can we use in that contain in which type of answers? Example, India's minerals policy reforms are essential for achieving self-reliance in strategic sectors. Discuss. Sir, ये तो वही कर रहा है ना, सेल्फ रिलायंस की बात कर रहा है. वेर अगेन वी हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट दैट अगेन वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू जस्ट एक्सप्लोर domestically, we are also going to explore offshore areas in the international areas, so that again the dependency on imports, the dependency which has been created through global tensions is going to cut down, and again India will become self-reliant. So again very relatable to the topic of the news, right? Now, the next important topic, National Sports Governance Bill and National Anti-Doping Amendment Bill 2025 has been passed by Lok Sabha. Basically, it is going to regulate the sports and ensure fair play in sports, right? So again, coming under your GS paper number 2, governance, specifically regulation of sport bodies, right? You have seen many times BCCI was in news, and again there was a question in that year of examination as well, right? So that makes this topic important, right? So idea is ये bill करना क्या चाह रही है? The bill has an aim to strengthen the sports governance, because sports is also an important part of governance, right? So again we have seen let's say a couple of years, maybe last year in Olympics we had a situation, and again we required to assist the athletes in some areas, right? In India also there are some regions where again sports have been an important part of governance. So again we require a certain kind of legislation for that particular purpose, right? So again it is ensuring independent anti-doping compliance. So again with respect to sports, what do we have? That at an international level we have a World Anti-Doping Agency, that is WADA, right? Doping means any kind of substance which is enhancing your performance, which is not allowed, right? कुछ ऐसे सब्सटेंस लीजिए जो आपका तुरंत में it is going to explore or going to enhance your capability, that is basically called as doping, right? So again, this is regulating the idea of sport bodies, dispute resolution, doping control. So ये सारी चीजें हैं which is this new bill has been coming into picture, right? Again, I'm going to discuss all of them. So the National Sports Governance Bill is basically an idea to regulate the sports administration in India and ensure fair governance, recognition and oversight of sports organizations. Basic thing, right? So क्या हुआ है? Few changes which has been brought up by this particular bill. Let's see. So what they have told कि for every sport we are going to create a very specialized body, है ना? हम हर sports के लिए एक special body बनाएंगे, right? That we call as national sports body. Let's say if we are talking about sports which are going to be where again India is going to represent at an Olympics level. So वो सारे sports at which India is going to be representing in Olympics will be handled by a separate body, that is called as National Olympics Committee. We have Paralympics, so ऐसे सारे games which are going to be played in the Paralympics are going to be regulated by National Paralympic Committee, right? Then we are going to create National Sports Federation and Regional Sports Federation. National Sports Federation for sports played at national level, as well as regional matlab at state level. ठीक है. सो ये बॉडी को रिकॉग्नाइज कौन करेगा? हु विल क्रिएट दीज काइंड ऑफ बॉडीज? हु आर गोइंग टू रिकॉग्नाइज व्हाट काइंड ऑफ स्पोर्ट्स रिक्वायर अ स्पेशल बॉडी? दैट has been given a task to National Sports Board, who is going to grant recognition to sports bodies. ठीक है. And again that again ऐसे questions आएंगे आपके prelims examination में, right? If this is body, who is appointing, who is the chairperson, right? So the chairperson membership is appointed by the central government, right? Then if you see, understand that a lot of times we have seen sports, maybe sports persons have some kind of a cases, right, or some kind of a disputes. So instead of going to the traditional system of justice, that is court, a specialized tribunal has been created in this, under this particular bill that we call as National Sports Tribunal, for a faster resolution of sports disputes, where again and again civil courts ko debar kiya gaya hai, they are not authorized to hear such cases. Then in terms of election oversight, so all the election process of these members are going to be done by a panel of electoral officers appointed by central government, and many times government has been given a power of exemption as well. Kabhi kabhi hoga kuch situations where again some body, some affiliations are going to be exempted to promote certain kind of a sports, so that bandwidth has been given to the central government also under this particular act, right? So that is a basic idea what all provisions have been done with respect to the sports governance bill. Then with respect to what kind of questions have been asked in this particular area, right? So discuss the role of governance and transparency in the functioning of sports federation in India, and suggest measures to ensure such accountability. Then we have sports governance in India suffers from administrative inefficiency and political interference. Examine the role of World Anti-Doping Agency WADA in global sports governance. How is India ensuring compliance with this code? So again in this particular bill also there is an anti-doping bill जो pass हुई है, उसमें बोला गया है कि India is going to comply or make regulations with respect to the international standard, that is World Anti-Doping Agency. That is the second bill what we have discussed. Then we have discussed the significance of anti-doping measures in safeguarding the integrity of sports. So all of these, look कि कैसे कितने important questions have been asked, and this topic of sport governance is very important for your examination. Then we have the next topic, Supreme Court. Again, this topic has been in news and a lot of debate has been going around that Supreme Court has recently taken up a suo moto case. Suo moto case ऐसे कौन से case होते हैं where again no one is filing any complaint. Supreme Court is automatically by itself taking up that issue and passing a judgment. That kind of cases are called as suo moto cases. So Supreme Court has taken up a suo moto case, and it has issued guidelines with respect to how we are going to control the menace of stray dogs in the NCR region, because we have seen that again what kind of conflict with stray dogs which people in the society has been facing, specifically in the NCR region, that has been taken up by Supreme Court, and again it has passed a direction or directives that again how we are going to tackle that situation. Again important for your GS paper number 2, governance, right? So सब चीज ऐसे topics governance के part है, right? So how we are handling such issues becomes a part of governance, right? So what exactly they have told that in the NCR region there has been a rising population of dogs, which is again coming in with the idea of public safety and rabies, because once a dog bites there is a disease of rabies, right? Again, so with this there has been rising cases of rabies happening in the NCR region with the dog bites, right? Supreme Court ने क्या बोला है कि you need to create a special team to quickly pick up all aggressive dogs in a particular area or society, right? Or injured dogs, because these are the potential one who can carry, who upon a bite can transmit rabies, right? Then they have also told कि you are going to create dog shelters. So again, dog shelters is something which Supreme Court has told, and again many times we have seen that again people have been taken up in a different context कि dog shelters are sometimes is going to be created under a specific supervision, where again they are going to be having good conditions, because what stray dogs and again the conflict of public safety which is there in picture, so they are going to be displaced to these dog shelters. Then they have told that again it has also, Supreme Court ने बोला है कि you create a helpline number so people can report about the dog related problems in specifically in their area. Then as rabies is being passed on by the dog bites, so again if dogs are properly vaccinated, so the possibility of catching up rabies is going to subdue, right? So again making sure vaccines for dogs are available, and lastly punishing people who block or interfere with these measures. So because many times there are mostly society mein hai, but all of we have compassion towards animals, and again this is where there has been a kind of a debate around this particular direction which Supreme Court has told ki some people, and again all of us love animals, right, and specifically dogs, right? So they are thinking that again it is something which is not right. But again, let's see, tell me in comments, what do you feel about this particular direction of Supreme Court, and how do you see through the lens of governance that why exactly it is important, right? So please share your very much, let's say, rational based decisions. Don't flow by emotions. Your opinion should be based on constitutional values, based on legal principles, and based on the need of the society, right? Then why exactly this dog issue is a very big issue, because we have seen as of now India has 1.5 crore stray dogs as per 2019 census. We are of course 6 years ahead. Then dogs are the main source of rabies, a deadly but preventable disease, and again India has a huge largest amount of death due to rabies, and India is responsible for 36% of world's rabies deaths, right? So it is again showcasing that again we are a hotspot of the problem of rabies due to these stray dogs, right? Then do we have any legal or let's say any other constitutional provision with respect to the idea of stray dogs? When it comes to Supreme Court judgments, we had Animal Birth Control Rules of 2023 coming under the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act, which is focusing on forced sterilization, ki sterilize so that again the reproduction of these dogs should come down, right? And again vaccination should also be given to stop rabies from spreading. Again it is coming under the Animal Birth Control Rules under the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act. ऐसे acts है ना, ये news में आते हैं, that becomes important for your examination, right? So please read about them as well. Then we have Supreme Court judgments. All of you know about Jallikattu case, where again Supreme Court has talked about that animals have also a right of life and liberty under Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. There has been one more judgment, People for Elimination of Stray Trouble versus AWBI, where again court has stopped the killing of street dogs, even aggressive ones, instead promoting human control methods. So देखिए कि जो judgments हैं, it is not just like a Supreme Court has told something and again which is against the humanitarian value of or compassion towards let's say these stray dogs. There has been cases where again they have also respected the rights, and again they have been given maybe right to life and personal liberty under Article 21 of the Constitution, right? So this is where it has been showcasing that again it is something which is required by the society. Do we have any constitutional rule for that as well, or any maybe a constitutional provision? Yes, Article 243W, which gives the responsibility or to municipalities to manage stray dogs. And again we have a fundamental duty, right, under Article 51A, which was added through an amendment. Tell me which amendment was it? And again the subclause G talks about that every citizen must show compassion to animals. So these are the few legal provisions with respect to let's say stray dogs. What do we have? And generally regarding animals. Then we have what kind of challenges society is facing with respect to the idea of stray dogs. Poor infrastructure, right? We do not have enough dog shelters, we do not have enough sterilization centers, right? We do not have trained veterinary doctors, we have low vaccine supply. अगर आप बोल रहे हो कि vaccination नहीं हो रहा है, supply कम है, right? So anti-rabies vaccines and immunoglobulus often are missing in the rural health centers. Then we have ethical dilemma, where again we need to balance between animal welfare versus human safety, especially in the cases of dog attacks. So these are the few challenges which are associated with anything which is coming around the idea of stray dogs, right? Then what exactly is the way forward? Solution क्या है? मतलब what is the middle path? What is the balanced way to do that? आप डॉग शेल्टर्स बनाइए, आप sterilizations and vaccination drives conduct करिए around the society where again you have huge amount of stray dogs, right? Dog shelters, not just dog shelters, but with proper facilities, right? Then we have better training and recruitment of veterinary doctors or professionals. Then we have public education to redefine relationship with dogs. Example, we can use them as service animals. So service animals क्या होते हैं? Many times we have seen that dogs are used by police, dogs are used by in the defense operations, right? So this is where you can use them as service providers, because as a creature, or they have a very compassionate feeling, right? So maybe in the old age homes, right, something like that, you can use them as a connect for compassion for such kind of people, right? So you are going to enhance the role of dogs as service animals rather than letting them roam freely in the society, right? That's a broad idea which is going to be your way forward in any kind of question with respect to this particular topic. Any question which has been asked around the topic? Yes. Discuss the constitutional, legal and ethical dimensions involved in managing the stray dog population in India. हमने देखा ना, सारी चीजें देखे. Constitutional क्या है, legal क्या है, ethical क्या है, we have discussed in this particular news. Suggest measures to balance animal welfare with public health and safety. Don't you think this is a conclusion of the second part of your answer? You're going to substantiate, of course, more. आप उसमें all points लिखेंगे. And this is where these kind of news is somewhere aligning with the kind of questions which has been asked by UPSC and makes them important, that again this theme could be again in your question paper in next year or this year of course. Then taxation reforms 2025 by Lok Sabha has passed maybe two laws, that is income tax number 2 bill 2025 and taxation laws amendment bill. So of course these are the bills which has been passed by Lok Sabha. They will of course go to Rajya Sabha, then of course they will become an act, right? So currently the income tax of India have been amended a lot of times. काफी amendments हुए हैं उसमें, but again still we are using that 1961 tax law, right? So again it is approximately 60 years old and has been amended many a times. इतने amendments हो गए हैं कि उसको track करके consolidate करके एक जगह पढ़ना and रखना has become very much difficult. तो बोला गया है कि why not to reform this and why not to make a let's say new law altogether. कुछ changes नहीं कर रहे हैं, we are just making it more friendly for citizens to understand and relate to. Because sometimes अगर आप income tax laws पढ़ोगे, कुछ words हैं, sometimes some definitions are not, the language is sometimes not very friendly to a common man, right? So that all of those things have been incorporated in that in this particular bill, right? So again, simplification, modernization, alignment with the current economic realities, right? And the bills has been passed in Lok Sabha to replace and update the tax laws, right? So what we have seen कि in terms of changes, अब आप देखते जब आप income tax file करते हैं, so even if you have certain amount of income which is coming under the tax bracket, there are few provisions, there are few exemptions which can be claimed by you, so that again you can lessen your liability of paying tax to the government. So again it was available to individuals. So now with this particular amendment, it has also made a provision that companies can also claim certain kind of exemption while paying income tax, right? Right, that has been the idea. Then in terms of family benefits, अगर आप देखते हो कि once you retire, you get pension. Once you have served at at an organization for a certain period of time, you're entitled to get gratuity, right? So these pensions and gratuity can be exempted under the income tax what you pay. Let's say a person is not anymore, he's not anymore in the world. So of course his pension is going to be given to the family members. So that would be included in the income of that particular family. Or let's say a person is not anymore and that family member is getting gratuity of that particular person who has passed away. So are they liable to pay tax on the amount of pension or gratuity what they are getting? So this law amendment has proposed that again deductions, that again these pensions and gratuity can be deducted from the net taxable income, will now cover family members as well. So earlier it was only available to the actual person who is getting pension and gratuity, but now it is also applicable to the family members who are getting pension and gratuity in absence of the original person. Then we have MAT and AMT rules have been clarified. What is minimum alternate tax? Sir, आप एक company है, right? And again you are making a profit of let's say 50 lakhs. Your tax liability somewhere, अब मैं आपको सिर्फ simple अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लिए बता रहा हूँ, डोंट गेट इनटू टू मच ऑफ की व्हाट इज अ परसेंटेज. Assume that again the tax liability of this particular company is supposed to be 15 lakhs, but there are few exemptions, right? So this company is claiming such exemption और इसका taxable income बन जा रहा है आके let's say somewhere around from 50 lakh to let's say 10 lakh, and this company is only paying a tax of 1 lakh rupees. Even after making a profit of 50 lakh, by claiming certain kind of exemption, that company is only paying let's say 1 lakh rupees of tax. इसके लिए provision बनाया है कि we have seen that many companies, in spite of making profit, they are again by claiming some kind of exemption, the tax liability is getting reduced. So for that what we have a minimum alternate tax. एक प्रोविजन बनाया गया है कि इतना मिनिमम टैक्स इररेस्पेक्टिव ऑफ व्हाटएवर एग्जाम्पशन यू आर गोइंग टू पे. लेट्स से मैट के बेसिस पे अगर इसका इनकम टैक्स एक प्रोसेस है, फॉर्मूला है हाउ यू गोइंग टू कैलकुलेट दैट. लेट्स से मैट के बेसिस पे इसका इनकम टैक्स निकल के आ रहा है 5 लाख, and as of now it is paying only 1 lakh. So which is greater, 5 lakh? So that company, even after claiming exemption, the tax liability is becoming 1 lakh. Still under this MAT provision, that company has to pay 5 lakh rupees as tax. That is the idea of minimum alternate tax. Again, sub important topics hai for your prelims examination. Then we have alternate minimum tax. So again, this MAT is for companies. This is for individuals, partnership firms, limited liability partnerships, where again इसमें भी देखा गया कि there are people who are claiming exemption, and with this exemption the tax liability is getting reduced. So for that also there are a provision that again you are supposed to pay a minimum alternate minimum tax. That has been the idea. Similarly like this, and again for limited liability partnerships, if let's say एक LLP है, right, and that LLP is only the source of income is कि उसके पास कुछ पुराने ज़मीन है, कुछ प्रॉपर्टीज़ हैं, वो बेच के ही वो सिर्फ अपने पैसे कमा रही है, राइट, एंड इट इज़ नॉट डूइंग एक्चुअली एनी बिजनेस. सो if that amount of money which is LLP is getting is by capital gains only, right? So for that, right, they are exempted from this alternate minimum tax, because actually वो कुछ कमा नहीं रहे हैं, वो जो उनके पास प्रॉपर्टीज है वही बेच को पैसा कमा रहे हैं, right? So that has been also been exempted, right? Then we have again, given the condition, they don't claim deductions under the particular law. Then digital push for professionals. Many times we have seen that again, still by the idea of digital India, and again the growing usage of online transactions, still we have find that again many people are still using old traditional method of transactions, right, through cash, through checks. So एक प्रोविजन बनाया गया है कि एनी प्रोफेशनल हुज इनकम is let's say approximately more than 50 crore rupees, they must do electronic payment models, not just cash and checks, right? Then what we have seen, मैंने बताया ना कि जो पुराने एक्ट में प्रोविजंस थे वो काफी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड, तो उनको पढ़ोगे तो समझ में नहीं आएगा. अगेन, सो दिस एक्ट, दिस बिल हैज आल्सो मेड श्योर दैट अगेन द लैंग्वेज of the income tax laws are going to be made easier so that again a common man can understand it by reading, right? And then definitions, जो भी tax laws के ना definitions आती है, let's say the definition of what counts as capital assets, में माइक्रो एंड स्मॉल एंटरप्राइजेस एमएसएमई क्या मतलब करेगा, बेनिफिशियल होने का मतलब क्या होगा. सो ऑल ऑफ दीज डेफिनेशंस हैव बीन अपडेटेड अंडर दिस पर्टिकुलर न्यू बिल, right? So these are the few changes. Then with respect to taxation laws, दो बिल आया था, दूसरा बिल था taxation laws amendment bill. इन्होंने क्या बोला है, we have unified pension scheme, right? So again the tax benefit which a person is going to get under unified pension scheme is going to be same as the person is going to get in the new pension scheme, so both are treated equally for tax purposes. Then we have foreign investment relief. अब कभी कभी देखा गया ना कि देर आर सर्टन काइंड ऑफ फंड्स, फॉर एग्जाम्पल द पब्लिक इन्वेस्टमेंट फंड ऑफ सऊदी अरेबिया, ये एक ऐसी pool of money है where again lot of investors in Saudi Arabia have a huge amount of pool of money and they have been using that money for investment in certain countries, right? अब उस सऊदी अरेबियन इन्वेस्टमेंट फंड से इफ इट इज गेटिंग सम काइंड ऑफ और डूइंग सम काइंड ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट इन इंडिया एंड गेटिंग सम काइंड ऑफ ए प्रॉफिट, राइट? सो उस पर टैक्स कितना लगेगा, राइट? सो दैट हैज बीन रिड्यूस्ड एंड सो फॉर दैट वाई क्यों कम किया है, टू अगेन प्रमोट द आइडिया ऑफ foreign direct investment, right? And its subsidiaries to attract more foreign money, so that has also been done. Some relief has been given with respect to tax on capital gain by such kind of investment. And then we have search cases made smoother. अब इनकम टैक्स की रेट पड़ती है, अब रेडिंग मूवी है देखा होगा, राइट? सो वेन एवर अ रेड इज बिंग डन, सो लेट्स से in 2025 a raid was being done in a particular organization and some money was found, taxable money on which that amount of money tax has not been paid. So assessment करते हैं. Once a raid has been done, there is a second process is कि you assess the money in that financial year. What was the amount of money a person needed to pay as a tax and how much money he has not paid tax, right? So कभी कभी क्या हुआ कि let's say raid पड़ी 2025 में, and again we are calculating the assets since 2010, ठीक है? सो दैट डज नॉट मीन कि आप हर साल का अलग 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 असेसमेंट निकालेंगे. यू कैन क्लब देम एंड यू कैन मेक अ वन असेसमेंट विच इज गोइंग टू मेक द प्रोसेस इजियर. इसको बोलते हैं हम ब्लॉक असेसमेंट रूल्स. सो दैट हैज बीन इंक्लूडेड इन दिस पर्टिकुलर बिल, ठीक है? यही है बेसिक प्रोविजंस. That is important. So any kind of a question which has been asked, again minimum tax, alt tax, all of this very important. Explain the rationale of introducing minimum alternate tax in India. How has it impacted the corporate taxation? Very important. Discuss the need for a tax reforms in India with special reference to simplification and rationalization of direct taxes. Again simple, ठीक है? कैसे ये न्यूज़ से questions आ रहे हैं. Then we have RBI has simplified the process of opening special Vostro Rupee accounts. Again, an important topic for GS paper number 3, economy. So what exactly are these new provisions? So again, RBI has earlier क्या था कि आपको एक Rupee Vostro account खोलना है. So you need to take a prior approval from Reserve Bank of India. So that approval need has been scrapped down by this new प्रोविजन ऑफ आरबीआई कि कोई भी बैंक को अब आरबीआई से अप्रूव नहीं कराना होगा टू ओपन अ स्पेशल रूपी वॉस्ट्रो अकाउंट. एज सिंपल एज दैट, यही है न्यूज, राइट? सो अगेन वाई कि इससे क्या होगा कि हर बार अगर आप आरबीआई से परमिशन लेने जाएंगे, सो अगेन इट इज गोइंग टू मेक द प्रोसेस लिटिल बिट a delay, and again that has been made sure that again to speed up rupee based trade settlements and promote internationalization of Indian rupee. आपको जानना जरूरी है कि सर वॉस्ट्रो अकाउंट होता क्या है, राइट? सो बेसिकली लेट्स से इफ अ फॉरेन बैंक wants to open a account in an Indian bank, right? So in that Indian bank, so again that money अगर मान लीजिए यूएस की एक बैंक है, दैट एग्जांपल आई हैव टेकन एग्जांपल ऑफ सिटी बैंक. Citibank is of USA. If it is opening an account in SBI, so again that account, the transaction is being done through rupees, not through dollars, right? That is the idea of Vostro account, right? So again in this example it will be called as SBI's Vostro account. Reverse है Nostro account. अगर इंडियन बैंक जा रही है किसी फॉरेन कंट्री के बैंक में अपना अकाउंट खोलती है, राइट? सो लेट्स से एसबीआई ऑफ इंडिया इज गोइंग टू यूएस and again opening an account in Citibank of USA. So again in that account money will be deposited not in rupees but again in the dollars. That is the idea of Nostro account. So basic, very very important questions पूछ सकते हैं, difference between Nostro and Vostro account in the prelims examination, right? So what all new changes have been made and why it has been made? चेंजेस क्या था कि जस्ट कि आपको आरबीआई के अप्रूवल नहीं लेना है, बैंक्स डज नॉट नीड टू हैव टेकन अप्रूवल फ्रॉम आरबीआई व्हिच वाज अर्लियर रिक्वायर्ड टू ओपन एनी रूपी स्पेशल वॉस्ट्रो अकाउंट, एज सिंपल एज दैट. इसका इंपैक्ट क्या होगा? इट इज गोइंग टू मेक फास्टर ट्रेड सेटलमेंट्स विद अ पार्टनर कंट्रीज. लेट्स से a company of US, right? It is doing some kind of transactions or trading in India, and again it is liable to pay certain amount of money to the trade what is doing in India to Indian firms. So with this account what it has, it need not to convert dollars into rupees and then pay. It is having money in rupees which is going to directly pay to the respective people, right? As simple as that. Then we have, it is going to be a boost kya कि रूपी का transactions we are not doing relying on only the traditional important currencies. It is going to boost rupee usage in the global trade, and again it is going to encourage foreign banks to transact in INR. As simple as that. Then we have, it is also going to create internationalizations of rupee. That is, rupee is not only going used in the Indian borders but again it is being used outside Indian borders as well. How? International trade, agar ye account hai, so again you are going to transact in rupees. Then we have, it is going to open up Indian trade and maybe internationalize rupee at a global financial market, and again it is going to lessen the dependency on having currency reserves. अब देखोगे ना करेंसी रिजर्व्स कुछ बेसिक करेंसी हमें रखना पड़ता है फॉर हैविंग इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड, दैट इज ऑल्सो गोइंग टू लेसन डाउन. What all benefits it is going to create? Again number one, वही मैंने बताया कि you are going to, there would be lower need for forex reserves, right? Because forex reserves क्यों रखते हैं हम? For again for maintaining a balance of trade and everything like that. So with this it is going to lessen the need for having forex reserves. Then again better financial markets, because more foreign participation leads to more investment opportunities or products in India. Then we have economic freedom, where again India can borrow internationally in rupees rather than taking loans in dollars, right? And it is going to reduce the currency risk for business. If an Indian exporter is selling in INR, they are safe from certain maybe the rupee dollar exchange rates. So all of these are key benefits with the proposed ease out of rules with respect to opening of special Vostro accounts by Indian banks. Then what steps already have been taken by India with respect to internationalization of rupees? We have UPI going global. UPI आजकल देख रहे हो कहाँ the Prime Minister has visited, let's say, many countries and again has done transactions through UPI. Then we have masala bonds, which are rupee denominated bonds which are sold in the overseas market. Then we have memorandum of understanding with UAE, Indonesia and Maldives for local currency trade. Then we have currency swap deals with central banks to exchange currencies directly without going to USD. Tell me in comments which all countries India has currency swap agreements with, right? So all of these are steps which have been taken by India in terms of internationalizations of Indian rupee. Any question? Sir, simple question है, देखिए कैसा आया. The term masala bonds is sometimes in use in the context of monetary policy of RBI, Indian overseas borrowing, foreign investment in India and India investment abroad. Tell me in comments what is the answer of the simple question, right? अब देखिए questions काफी simple आ रहे हैं. कुछ terms आते हैं, they become a topic in your prelims examination. In terms of mains, with reference to developing countries, examine the problems of resource mobilization and explain how internationalization of currency can help in this regard. You can quote an example of RBI कि कैसे RBI ने ease out किया है rules in order to promote the internationalizations of currency. ठीक है? Then last news for the main news, evolving role of Competition Commission of India in digital economy. Parliamentary Standing Committee on Finance has given this report where again it has been tolling that again with the growing nature of Indian economy, with the growing nature of digitalization happening in the economy, we need to have and we need to evolve the role of CCI, that is Competition Commission of India, right? Again important for paper number 2 governance as well as paper number 3 Indian economy. What has been done? So again CCI है कौन सी body? Indian economy hai, so there are multiple companies, businesses happening around the country. So, but there has to be a fair way in which we are maybe doing business. So that has been made sure by this body of CCI, which is again have a role just like a referee, which is going to ensure fair competition across the Indian market, right? So, but what we have seen with this idea, ye CCI bana tha, where again we did not had digital transactions, digital trades, e-commerce websites, artificial intelligence, all of this which has come into picture into the realm of Indian economy very recently. So all of these have been done, and again they are traditional ex post competition act which is inadequate for the new digital markets which has evolved. अब ex post competition क्या है कि ये ex post क्या होता है कि कुछ हो गया, something has happened, then this act come as a rescue for something which has already happened. So ये क्या करती है ex post, ये कुछ होने के बाद उसका resolution देती है. So that has been, but again हमने देखा ना कि with digitalization of economy, within a fraction of second many things can happen. अब आप ex post के basis से बैठे रहेंगे, you are not going to tackle situations in an easy manner. So again, that is why this committee has recommended the reforms which has to be made. And again, इसके लिए amendment भी हुआ है in the Competition Commission Act of India. Again, in 2023, there was an amendment which has made sure deal value thresholds. So अगर deal value thresholds होती क्या है, आप देखते हैं ना कभी-कभी important companies के mergers होते हैं, acquisitions होते हैं, right? So let's say a big company is acquiring any small company, right? So if the company which the big company is acquiring is beyond certain amount of money, then it comes under the supervision of CCI. अब क्या हो रहा है, इसका लूप होल कैसे कंपनीज निकाल रही थी कि इफ आई एम अ बिग कंपनी, आई एम एक्वायरिंग अ वेरी स्मॉल कंपनी जो स्मॉल अभी है इन टर्म्स ऑफ वैल्यू एज ऑफ नाउ, बट इट हैज अ ह्यूज पोटेंशियल टू ग्रो इन द कमिंग फ्यूचर. सो it is below that threshold limit of in which CCI are going to oversee such kind of mergers or acquisitions. That was a loopholes which big companies were using. That has been made sure that again एक threshold limit set किया गया है कि if even if the company is small, beyond a threshold value, it is going to be coming under the supervision of CCI in such kind of mergers or acquisitions. That has been discussed over here. Settlement and commitment mechanisms. So again, dispute resolution mechanisms has to be made easier. And lastly, अब digital economy आ गया है. So again, there has been a special digital market division which has been created as a digital wing for online economy oversight. Then what has been the problems which this standing committee of finance has highlighted with respect to CCI? They have told there are a lot of anti-competitive tricks which are being used by big players. For example, self-preferencing. अगर आप जाओगे Amazon की वेबसाइट खोलोगे, आपको क्या दिखता है? सबसे पहले दिखेगा Amazon Basics, Amazon Fresh, right? So with this, they are only promoting their own products, right? If you go to maybe Apple Music, Apple iMessage, FaceTime, all of this are sometimes they are self-preferencing their own products. Again, it is against the idea of competition in the market. Then we have predatory pricing. So what time sometimes अगर आप देखो कभी-कभी companies और brands are giving so much of discount, loss में products बेच रहे हैं, but again they are just giving huge amount of discounts to attract customers. This is also wrong. Then we have tying and bundling. आपने एक मैकबुक खरीदा, आपको साथ में सेम चार्जर लेना है, सेम एप्पल का ये लेना है, राइट? सो अगेन व्हाट दे हैव डूइंग, दे हैव बीन बंडलिंग, सो अगेन दैट इज आल्सो अगेन लीडिंग टू forced buying, and again it is again going by the idea of which is not competitively right in the market. So these are the few anti-competitive tricks which are being used by big companies. Then in terms of some regulatory weaknesses, what we have seen that again in this particular CCI, the staff requirement is of 195, but still we have only 133 people, 13 people only working, right? Again, with a lack of people with an expertise in artificial intelligence algorithms. Then we have enforcement is very weak. Then we have digital competition bill has a lot of flaws with respect to data protection, no mechanism to challenge them. MSMEs are at risk. abne bataya na ki merger mein threshold has been created, so it is also in this idea. The MSME, the threshold value is of 2000 crore, which could let large companies quietly buy small business without any scrutiny. So all of this has been created as a challenges which this parliamentary committee report on finance has highlighted, right? Very important, what they have recommended, स्पीड अप द इन्फोर्समेंट प्रोसेस, कि कोई भी कॉम्पिटिशन कमीशन के आगे कोई भी चीज़ें आती हैं, दैट हैज़ टू बी मेड इन अ वेरी स्मूदर एंड लेट्स से इन अ स्पीडियर मैनर. एंड कंपनीज, हमने बताया ना कि आई हैव टोल्ड यू कि द कंपनीज एक्ट इज वर्किंग ऑन एक्स पोस्ट. सो कुछ होने के बाद, so you cannot this is very hard to tackle that situation. So what they have done, the companies have to deposit 25% of penalty before appealing to reduce the endless litigation. ये भी है. Then we have प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ MSMEs की जो DVT वैल्यू है 2000 करोड़ की, उसको और कम करिए. एंड इन्वेस्टिगेशन प्रिडेटिंग प्राइसिंग इज हैज टू मोर एक्टिवली हैपनिंग. Then the commission has to be proactive, that again it has to do market studies on future tech like artificial intelligence, link with competition policy, with consumer data privacy, in terms of strengthening the policy implementation of national competition policy for a clear framework. All of these are the recommendations which has been given by this committee on standing committee on finance. You can use them in your respective answers with respect to CCI or any idea with respect to fair trade happening in the country. Then this body also becomes very important for your examination. Again, it was made in the year 2003 under the Competition Act of 2002, and it has been active since 2009. Coming chairman, it comprises of chairman plus 6 members appointed by central government. Its main job is to stop unfair competition, protect consumers, ensure free trade, and advise government bodies to on competition matters. Again, basic facts for your prelims examination. That's how we complete the main uses. Then moving on to the place in news, that is Australia, right? Why it was in news? Because Australian Army Chief has been in India for 4-day visit, right? So you need to locate Australia, very important region, right? What are the important seas? It is between the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. Tropic of Cancer passes through it. We have Coral Sea, we have Tasman Sea. What kind of bordering countries do we have, right? All of that becomes very important, along with the climate of the region, the minerals of the region, and very important, it is the flattest continent without even any glaciers, right? काफी flat सा है without any, let's say, important glaciers, important peaks. That is a unique feature of this particular continent of Australia, right? Then moving on to the quick updates for today. So the Election Commission of India has flagged that again in India there are 476 registered unrecognized political party. Every political party in India need to register with ECI. What are recognized and unrecognized political parties? Sometimes when they contest elections based on the votes what they have been getting, some has been classified as national parties, some has been classified as state parties. अब देखा गया कि there are few political parties who are registered but are unrecognized political parties. That means they are neither national party nor a state party, right? That has been idea, and again it has found out that 476 such political parties and has to be delisted. Number one, what does the law says? Ki who has authority to registered a political party. The Section 29A of Presentation of People Act of 1951, very important act, is giving the criteria for registration on what basis a political party is going to be called as a national party or going to be recognized as a state party. Although ECI has a power to register a political party, but it does not have a power to deregister a political party, right? But with this, what we have seen, why it was in news, that again, parties contesting elections for 6 consecutive years can be removed from register, ठीक है? But ऐसी parties है जो election contest कर ही नहीं रही हैं since last 6 consecutive years are under ECI, under a provision, they have a power to delist such political parties. As simple as that. Again, very important topic with the whole topic around ECI, and again situation in Bihar which is in news. This topic is very important for your examination. Then UNDP has given Equator Initiative Award. So awards become very important. So again, Bibi Fatima Women's Self-Help Groups in the Dharwad region of Karnataka has got this particular award. So again, this award is being given on a biennial basis by UNDP for again biodiversity conservation and sustainable livelihood, and it is also been called as a Nobel Prize for Biodiversity. हम देख रहे हैं ना कि कैसे how it is very important to conserve the environment and again the biodiversity region. So this SHG has been working towards the idea of biodiversity conservation by millet-based mixed cropping, climate-resilient farming, livestock rearing, horticulture, millet promotion. That is why this Bibi Fatima SHG work has been recognized and it has got a UNDP Equator Initiative Award. Very important. ऐसे questions आएंगे आपके prelims examination में. Then we have National Anubhav Awards celebrating 10 years. So again, there are many civil servants who have retired, but they have a lot of experience with the amount of service what they have given in the governance of the country. So Anubhav portal has been created in the year 2015, where again retired civil servants can share, can record their experiences till so that उनके memory से वो निकल ना जाए, because with age people used to forget things, right? So that again that Anubhav would be there in that particular platform, which could be used by future civil servants or policy makers with the best practices what they have done. So ये 10 years completion हुआ है, that is why it is in news. ठीक है, as simple as that. Again, it is governed by Department of Pension and Pensioners Welfare. Again, to preserve India's administrative history via memoirs on Anubhav portal. And again, क्या नया एलिजिबिलिटी है कि गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉइज रिटायरिंग इन द नेक्स्ट 8 months और रिटायर्ड विद इन लास्ट 3 years कैन शेयर देयर एक्सपीरियंसेस इन दिस अनुभव पोर्टल. देन वी हैव नेशनल मेडिकल रजिस्टर. सो बेसिकली जितने भी डॉक्टर्स हैं ना, एलोपैथिक डॉक्टर्स, so again there is a register which is being maintained under the National Medical Commission Act by the Ethics and Medical Registration Board, right? So it is a database for all allopathic doctors in India with their name, their address, their qualifications, so that the citizens are very much aware that whether this doctor is a registered doctor or not, with the issues around happening in the country, where again there are fake doctors as well, right? But of course, to avoid duplication, public access to verified doctors information. But again, the recent direction has come up by the government that again it is a voluntary thing. You are not, the registration ID which you are going to get by registration is voluntary in nature, not compulsory. Then we have Mahadai river dispute. Again, it was in news, we have discussed earlier also. So again, this river dispute, a tribunal has been created. So the Interstate River Water Dispute Act, the tribunal years has been extended by 1 more year. So this basically involves a dispute between the river Mahadai river between Goa, Karnataka and Maharashtra, and tribunal was set up in November 2010. So basic facts आप देख लीजिए कहाँ से river आती है, where it is draining out. Again, a west flowing river, very important. Then we have in Karnataka we call it as Mahadai. The spelling changes, Mahadai in Goa, right? So again the tributaries, right? And in terms of water sharage, Goa has 78%, Karnataka has 18%, Maharashtra has 4%, right? So very important topic, and this Interstate River Dispute Act, it is very, very important for your prelims examination. Then we have Italian hydroelectric project. So again, a new hydroelectric project has been proposed in Arunachal Pradesh in the Dibang Valley, right? So basically, a dam or hydroelectric project has been built around dams on Dree and Tangong River. Basically, these two rivers merge and they form the Dibang River, which is in the Arunachal Pradesh, right? And it has a capacity of 3097 megawatts. But although environmental clearance has been given to this particular project, but again it is going to create diversion of approximately 1175 hectares of forest land, which has pine, evergreen, semi-evergreen, temperate and alpine scrubs. So again, that is why, again, going with the idea of developmental versus environment, right? So again, that is how it is. Then in terms of Wallachian hominids, so recently scientists have found artifacts of oldest Wallachian humans in the Sulawesi region of Indonesia. ये basically कौन है? Early humans थे, right? So which is of course Homo erectus, and they have been told to live approximately 1.02 million years ago. So earlier it was believed that they only settled in Flores in Indonesia and Luzon in Philippines. And why? Because they were not able to travel the long sea distances. So recent artifacts have been found in that particular region. So ये बन जाता है आपका important for your let's say prelims examination. And again, people who are having anthropology as their optional paper, ये also very important for them, right? So Wallachia is why? Because it has been named after Alfred Russel Wallace, who has found that artifact in that particular region. Okay, a very important fact. Then we have Eutelsat OneWeb. So recently, Tata Group Nelco has partnered with Eutelsat to offer lower Earth orbit satellite internet service in India, right? So again, basic facts देख लीजिए क्या है. It is subsidiary of French Eutelsat, which provides broadband via lower Earth orbit satellites. Lower Earth orbit हमने बताया था पहले भी. It is satellites which are below 2000 kilometer range from the surface of Earth, right? So again, how is India linked to it? Where again, Bharti Enterprises is a major investor and shareholder in this particular project. And again, it is of course going to boost the idea of digital infrastructure, national security, connectivity in the remote and underserved areas of the region, right? So with this, we come to an end for today's discussion. So all important questions which could be framed from the topics what I have discussed will pop up in your screen. It is very important. I have emphasized many a times that again, you solve questions. You have read it, you have seen the video, you have understood the topics. Now the ball is in your court to solve questions and get confidence that again, I have not just read, but I have solved questions. And please post in comments your answers, which is again going to create a very competitive spirit around the students who are listening to the News Today editions, right? Lastly, Visualize has come up with digital current affairs platform, which is a one-stop solution for all current affairs problems, right? So please go and explore, and you're going to find enough good amount of content, variety of content with respect to current affairs around the topic of UPSC, right? So all the very best, and thank you so very much.